Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive insightful answers from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, entrepreneurship, health, personal development, spirituality, and more. Do you want to know how to really begin adopting a more healthful lifestyle? Exercising, starting the regular exercise program once and for all, eating more healthfully, etc. Well, we're going to ask the tarot. The tarot today is going to advise us on how you can do this. And I hope that you will forgive me for putting this week, I'm going to recommend a book, and I'm going to be putting a shameless plug for a book I've written because it relates to health. And it came out in 2011, Yoga at Home, Gain Energy, Flexibility, and Serenity in 20 to 30 minutes a day. And actually, I believe everything I wrote in this book was a work of love that I engaged in for 4 years, between 2007 and 2011 when it was published. And it is on Amazon, so you can find it there on Amazon. I'll provide a link. But the purpose of my book and the approach and philosophy I have about adopting a healthful lifestyle is that one of the core ingredients or the core action steps is that I really recommend that you start slowly and methodically, kind of like a snail moves across the sand slowly and methodically. But baby steps are critical. We all know that cliche about how many people on January 1st, in the first few weeks of January, join gyms, go to classes. They say, for once and for all, I'm going to get in shape, lose weight, etc., etc. And how long does that last? Not very long. So the approach that I take in my book, and I try to really provide practical advice because I am a non-athlete. I really don't do that well in classes because I can't follow well in a group. If I lose a step, I miss a split second, and then I get all behind and I get all flustered and discombobulated. And so I taught myself yoga through a couple of books when I was 15. And I did it consistently, and I did it in baby steps as advised by the authors of those 2 books. And so I incorporated those key concepts into this work. And so let's see what the tarot advises us. For me, that's one of the most important ingredients of a healthful lifestyle is starting small, starting gradually, and also making a heartfelt commitment. And at the end of my book, I have, in fact, a chapter called Chapter 15, Your Heartfelt Yoga Commitment. If you really want to improve your health and have a more healthful lifestyle, you truly must make a commitment. And I have a place for you to sign here where you acknowledge that life is a treasure to be savored every day, and that to give and receive the most in life, you must be energetic, balanced, strong, firm, flexible, and serene in your mind, body, and spirit. And the only way that can come about is through doing things consistently. As I think author Jim Quick, who has a podcast and is an amazing person about how to maximize your brain power, he talks about consistency being more important than, intensity. Consistency outweighs intensity. So it's more important to do 5 or 10 minutes of yoga daily, like 5, or I say 6 times a week, than doing it once a week for real intense hour. So consistency versus intensity. So we're going to see what the tarot advises you to do if you've been remiss in following through on creating a healthful lifestyle. So the 3 cards are going to represent situation, what insights you need to know about now, where you are now, suggested actions, and what likely outcome you can expect if you take those suggested actions. So let's see what the tarot advises us today. First card, situation. What do you need to know about where you are right now vis-a-vis creating a healthful lifestyle? The Hangman is also the Hangman reversed. So this is suggesting to me the situation is that you know that you have been just in suspension, not doing anything, and that you need to move into action. Because if this were upright, the Hangman upright is suggesting a time, particular moment where you are not moving forward. You're just kind of stuck hanging there. And given that it's reversed, this is saying, amplifying, that you really need to get moving. You need to get off your butt and just start taking action. And as I would advise, those baby steps. That this is the situation right now. You recognize, if you're watching this video today, whenever it is that you turn this on, is that you need to move into action. You've got to stop being in limbo. That's what I would say the hangman reversed is advising you, this image. And just recognize too, if you look at the hangman, he's got red stockings. So that, to me, suggests there is a passion. You do have, there's part of you that really wants to adopt a healthful lifestyle, but somehow you have just allowed yourself to not take the necessary action, to just dismiss it or not prioritize it. The hangman reverse is suggesting that the situation right now is that you've acknowledged now it's time. Get moving. Start taking action toward it. Now, the suggested action, we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands pops up often. It pops up frequently in my readings. And so what the suggested action here is, the Page of Wands is youthful. It's a youthful individual. He's gazing up, and he's got that little flicker. Oh, before I say this, before discussing the wand that he's gazing up at, he's got this red feather, again suggesting passion. And he's out in the middle of the desert. He's got this, it must be hot, because he's got this tunic and stockings, etc. But what he's doing is, he is gazing intently on this wand. And for me, this wand represents that desire for a healthful lifestyle, that desire to move forward and to create health, create passion. And it's saying that out of this desert, you haven't been doing you've been inactive for a while, but now the first step is to summon up that action, that desire, and to start taking action, because we said that this card represents, it's the action card. So it's saying making it a priority. So the hangman reverse saying you really have got to get moving and get off your butt and prioritize this. This is important. You want to have a quality life your entire life, if at all possible, to maximize those chances of that. Prioritize this. And by prioritizing in terms of action, schedule it, put it on your calendar. You may need to isolate yourself if you're doing an exercise program on your own, or you need to somehow carve out the time. That's what this desert suggests. And eliminating distractions. Don't allow distractions. Know what you need to do to carve out the time and to make it a priority. That's what the suggested action is. And finally, what's going to happen if you recognize you've been really allowing yourself to be in a slump and be in limbo, making it a priority, deciding that get moving, carve it out, write it down on your schedule. And then finally, the outcome, the Page of Swords reversed, is, and this is an interesting image, is suggesting, well, when it's upright, we have this young man who is just grasping his sword very fiercely. He's atop a hill, and he's got a lot of energy and passion, although he may not be mature action. But it's saying the outcome is that if you follow the recommendations we just spoke about, acknowledging that you need to get out of limbo, that you are going to be able to move forward in a more mature way. You're not going, it's the opposite of the perhaps more immature and maybe a little bit reckless Page of Swords, but you're going to be able to create this healthful lifestyle in a grounded and more mature way. I believe that's what this reversed image is advising us. Now, looking at the spread overall, this reading overall, just to see if I have any other insights. Well, what's coming to mind, especially when I look at this page of swords reversed, and when it's upright, we see that there are these storm clouds, there's a wind, the trees look like that the branches are being windswept, they're moving in the wind. What's suggesting to me is that you're going to have this sense of calm and peace and serenity, because the page of swords upright is not a serene individual. And in fact, it's interesting because what I said in my book, or the title of my book, Gain Energy, Flexibility, and Serenity, is you're going to start feeling good. You're going to feel calmer. You're going to feel more balanced, more grounded. Unlike the Page of Swords, it's a little bit foolhardy and maybe a little bit reckless. You're going to start feeling more grounded, more centered. I think that's what this image is suggesting. In conclusion, how you go about starting a healthful lifestyle and practices once and for all is recognizing that you just have to start moving. You cannot be in limbo anymore. You've got to release that limbo state. This is where you are. Now is the time. Don't wait any longer. Make it a priority. Carve out the time on your calendar. Commit to it with great intensity and passion. This has to be just instill that importance in your very being, in your body, and isolate yourself from distractions. It really has to be a priority. And finally, the likely outcome is that you're going to feel calmer, you're going to feel more grounded, you're going to feel less tossed and turned by turbulence external to you. You're going to be more at peace and just, again, grounded, and just be able to release past tensions. Because when you're healthy and have a healthful lifestyle, you tend to be more at peace and better. You're more stable. Things don't throw you off as easily. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. As always, if you liked it, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to make sure you get informed of upcoming videos. And as always, I will suggest a piece of music. Since I talked about yoga, I'll probably include a link to some yoga music. Until next time, have a wonderful weekend and illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.